How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Something big is happening behind the scenes, and I want to show you some charts that explain exactly why you probably don't want to panic sell, right? We have whales buying like never before. We also have some interesting movements from Mr. 100. I want to walk through that along with some really important charts. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to trade cryptocurrency, there's a link to Margex underneath the video. We were just at 57.6, which is hitting some kind of resistance here, but this is a pretty interesting level, a pretty important level. We got rejected a little bit, but after I'm going to show you, I would not be surprised if we move back up. And if you want to trade this market, there's a link to Margex where you can place longs and shorts and you can amplify returns. I was able to turn 0.01 Bitcoin into 0.036 Bitcoin. And I already took off a bunch of profits. So I'm up about 300% on that trade since we opened it just a few days ago. If you want to check out the link again, it is underneath the video. Now, I covered this in yesterday's video, but Bank of Japan pretty much capitulated already. They said that they won't raise rates when the market is unstable. They must maintain current degree of easing for the time being. Market moves are extremely volatile. They're watching the impact. They see no big change to Japan, U.S. economic fundamentals, etc. So they basically said, we're not going to raise rates anymore if this is what happens. They basically saw the whole market freaking out and said, we'll lay off. And that is causing the market to rally. It's a good look for risk assets. It does show you how fragile the government is and how fragile the markets are. But it also says, governments are always going to backstop now. They're always going to print more money. They're always going to kick the can further down the road. No one's going to do the hard thing. But that is good for risk assets in the short term. And you can see whales buying a huge amount. In this video last night, I talked about the permanent holder addresses just spiking. So much Bitcoin moving into those wallets, and this is a different view that I want to cover for today's video. Whales and institutions are stacking aggressively. This is the Bitcoin balance in new wallets over 1,000 Bitcoin, including spot ETFs, custodial wallets, but excluding exchanges and miners. You can see just a massive spike, and part of this is that we have ETFs. That's probably carrying the majority of this weight, because the ETFs carry a lot of Bitcoin. I mean, we're talking about going from 400,000 to 2 million in Bitcoin balance in these new wallets. So quite crazy how much new Bitcoin is being bought up, how much Bitcoin is being bought up by these new whales. And yesterday, we did have an outflow in the Bitcoin ETFs. We did see an inflow, though, for the Ethereum ETFs. Kind of interesting, especially with Bitcoin, I think, still outperforming ETH over the last few days. You can see ETH lagging behind a little bit. You know what's done extremely well, though? Obviously, meme coins have done well. Solana also has done well, up 16.7%. I want to show that chart here in a second. But like I said, meme coins are doing extremely well. Pepe is up 14%. Shiba is up a couple percent. And you go down the line, there are a lot of meme coins bouncing hard. One meme coin that I've been paying attention to is a newer one. It's small. It actually doesn't have anything to do with the election coming up. It's a meme coin, but it's more like a nostalgic meme coin. Yeah, the most nostalgic meme on Solana, N64. I'll leave a link to this underneath the video if you want to check it out, along with maybe the contract address. They're really going after this nostalgia of the N64. If you don't know what that is, that's a gaming console. I remember playing this as a kid as well, but on their video they have, or on their website they have a video, 100 N64 games in 10 minutes. From Asteroids to Blast Corps, they had 007, Mario Party, like all different kinds of games, which I do remember some of these. The token is pretty small still, just about a 300K market cap. If you want to check it out though, like I said, I'll put a link to it underneath the video. It is small, so it will be volatile. Just to be clear too, they did raise 850 Solana under 12 hours with the max buy at 3 Solana. So they did quite well very quickly. They were able to raise a lot of funds. This is something that I will be a holder of, to be clear as well. But let's move back into Bitcoin land. NASDAQ and BlackRock's filing for options on spot Ethereum ETF posted on SEC site. So they're going to have options. They're going to have all the functionality of other ETFs eventually, and I think that will bring in more investors. If you have options, if you can take loans against this, if you can do all the normal functions, I think people will be quite excited about that, especially because there is so much volatility. People will play it for sure. Like, there's just a lot of potential. Volatility is vitality, as some people like to say. Look at this. Solana hitting new all-time highs versus the ETH pair that it's on. 0.061. The previous high was 0.0588 or 0.059. So moving up a good amount versus the ETH pair. And this seems to continue to happen. I mean, since the bear market, look at this. It hit basically a low. It double bottomed and then has gone up, 6, 7, 8, probably 8x versus its pair on ETH. So quite impressive. Semler Scientific provides an update on corporate Bitcoin treasury strategy. Semler Scientific has actively pursued a Bitcoin strategy. Sorry about that. Purchasing 101 Bitcoin for $6 million, and they remain laser focused on acquiring and holding Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a compelling investment. So yeah, that's interesting to see a profitable multi 8-9 figure company. Let me actually pull up SMLR stock. The market cap is 200 million, but they do tens of millions in revenue, if I remember right. It's interesting to see a company like that still laser focused on Bitcoin. I mean, it is similar to how MicroStrategy approaches it too. But there are some people selling. Mr. 100 was on a rampant buying streak recently. Just smashing by. You can see 100, 200. Okay, so it went from 69,500 all the way up to 73,000, and then just sold. Just sold 170 million, another 170 million. So basically sold all the Bitcoin that they bought over the last few days, plus another 2,500 Bitcoin. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they're just playing this little bounce and thinking we're going to fall back down. Maybe they're just gearing up to buy more. Maybe that's what they did here, is that they just wanted some extra dry powder, or they're taking some off the table because, Mr. 100 has been buying for a long time. We can go all the way back. They started buying during the bear market when we were in the teens. Like, look at this, 16,000, 17,000. I think it's important to remember too, while this is a lot of Bitcoin, I mean, we're talking about $340 million, and while that can affect the market, the fact is that this is less than 10% of their portfolio, right? If they wanted to dump the market, they could have done that. They could have sold a lot more. If they wanted to slowly get out, they could also do that, and they probably wouldn't dump 5% and then another 5% an hour later. So I'm guessing this is just taking some profits, taking some off the table, etc. We've seen them do this before. I mean, just a few weeks ago, they did this around 64, 68,000. Then we did fall significantly, and we've seen this before too. So keep that in mind, that it's not necessarily indicative of some longer term scheme to sell off a bunch of Bitcoin. You can see they sold some here and then went to buying it 3 days later, even though the price was higher as well. There are a variety of reasons why someone sells, but there's only ever one reason that someone buys. Keep that in mind. So it is interesting. We'll continue to watch Mr. 100. Honestly, it would have been nice if Mr. 100 did not sell. I would have preferred that, but there's always some reason for it. Like I said, there could be a reason for it, a good reason for it. So who knows? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. As I said in the title, something diabolical is happening. Big wallets are accumulating a lot. BlackRock is not selling anything during this market downturn. There are diabolical things happening all across the world at these different banks, really pushing the can down the road. Let me know your thoughts, though. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one. By the way, if you do want to trade, like I said, there is the link to Margex. Goodbye.